All right, this is my daily update for my build on public log. It has been a long week, y'all. I'm so ready for the weekend. I wish it was Friday. Uh, Managed to get some decent work done on this agents code, my AI agent API service. I'm pretty pleased with what I did here. I'm cleaning up this section. Um, so when you hit the landing page and you actually see what agents. You can see like the cost, how many credits. You can see there's a live demo. And now I show how many times it's been ran. So let's click on that. I think I finally fixed the bug. I mentioned this the other day. There was like one little bug where it wasn't generating chapters, but it looks like that's working. Yeah, you can now see like how popular it is, how many times it has ran. I would love to get reviews, but I kind of need users before there's reviews. So uh, yeah, and it's kind of sad because a lot of these runs are the demo. Because if you go and you run this right now, for the demo, it will be a run. It will obviously kick off the agent and run it. And then I also was looking around the internet for other marketplaces where there's AI agents. I really want this to turn into a marketplace where there is like really high quality agents that are vetted that other developers, maybe even no code people can. I'm totally open to that. Where people build agents, put them up here, and you get money for everyone who runs your agent. I really want to do that, but God, I just need so much work to make that happen, and I just don't have the time. So starting with me first, but that's the dream. That's where I want to get to. And then you can make an agent, and if it's popular and people run it, you're going to get money. You're going to get paid. So if you think that's a good idea, if you would like to get paid for every time an agent runs, let me know. I would love to know what people think about that. But I would love to do that because I don't want to just be the only one building the agents. Like, and frankly, I think I would get better agents if I opened it up to everybody. It's on me to make the agents, and I'm going to start cranking out some agents here pretty soon. One thing I wanted to talk about. This kind of like goes deep into like my philosophy on software, kind of in life in general. This is from one of my favorite books. I quite like this book. I quite like James Clear. He wrote the book Atomic Habits. If you've never read it, I recommend it. There's great like speeches that he did, like public speeches he did on YouTube, where he kind of condenses down the book into like a 31 hour, 60-minute ish video. I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't. So the main concept is like build little habits and things will compound. So my philosophy for this, I know, I'm really frustrated because I can only work so little. I have a huge freelance project that just eats up all my time. It's full time, it's like a full time job for like 3 months. I've been like a really intense full time job. It's not like a easy full time job. It's like kind of an intense full time job. I'm trying to help a startup get their product out the door, get launched, and have traction. So I've been hired essentially by a startup to build their first initial product. And I get frustrated, but I was thinking about this last day. I have to remember this graphic, and in my opinion, if you just show up every day and try to make the product, the software, or your life 1% better, I truly believe you're going to just, I think I'm like here. And I really hope that maybe, I know it looks like I'm not getting shit done, and I'm frustrated by how little I am. But if I just keep showing up day after day after day after day after day, and that's what positive good habits do, I have the potential to end up here where I have like, wow, I actually have a good product. It really works. It's like, it's really adding value. Um, people like it. I delight users. But but what if I just stopped working? What if I was like, you know what? I'm too busy at freelance work. Like, fuck it. I'm not showing up. I'm going to end up here because doing nothing. I'd rather do 1 hour every day, and then the weekends, then be this line here, this line down here. And that's why I keep showing up every day. That's why I keep doing these videos. I've done over 100 of them. I'm really, really hoping that it starts to do this and curve up, and I end up having users. I end up really diving deeper into what people need and want, and delivering it. That's why I'm showing up every day and doing this, because of this graphic right here. I swear to God, literally because of this graphic and reading this book. And that's why I'm here, folks. So I get really frustrated with the lack of progress. I get really frustrated about how little time I have, but I just really hope that slow 1% better gets me there. Anyways, that's it for today. Let's see if there's any questions or comments. No questions or comments today, but there was one yesterday. I really appreciate that. That's great to see support. On to my random story for today. This one's pretty random. They usually are. I was on Spotify lately when I work, because the work is pretty like grueling. Some of the work I do for the freelance is like honestly kind of boring, and I struggle to have motivation, and I have to put on like I've been using what's called Brain FM. This is not an ad. I wish I was paid by them, but I'm not. It's like deep work music. There's like ambient, lo-fi, electronic, classical. There's all these different. They claim like this will neurologically get you focused, help you get into the flow state. I swear it works. I've been using it, but it gets a little monotonous, and sometimes it's just not enough for the really arduous tasks like what I'm doing right now this week. So I was on Spotify earlier, and listening to some old classic beats like that I know always put me in a good mood. That always get me fired up. So I started listening to some old stuff, and I clicked on. Sometimes I like to just click on an artist, like their name in Spotify, and you can see how many views they get a month, and you can see like how many views. Sometimes I do that just to see like has anything changed? Like are they popular? Or, like is there a lot more views? Because that's happened recently. Old artists I used to like in my 20s a long time ago, and I was like, my jaw dropped. It said they had like almost 8 million streams a month. And every one of their popular songs was like hundreds of millions of list streams. I was like, what the fuck happened here? Like, why not just show you? So the band is Crystal Castles. I looked at this and my jaw dropped. I was like, okay, 7 million. I was like, why? I was like, why the fuck do all their songs have hundreds of millions of streams? This was millions before, but like not hundreds of millions. I was like, what? What is going on? Why do they have like a billion plus streams? Why are they really, really, really popular? What happened? And so I Googled, of course. I was like, why are they suddenly popular? What changed? Apparently, they got really, really popular on TikTok, and I don't know what's popular on TikTok. I don't use TikTok. And all these people started listening to them, and they became really popular, and have had a resurgence. It's so fucking random. Uh, and it's like, what the hell? I listened to them in like 2008, 2010. I listened to them a lot, like 2010 to 2015, in my 20s when I was a 20-year-old. I didn't even see them in concert until really, really late. I think I saw them in concert for the first time ever in like 2016. So years after they were popular, at least this was like a hipster indie electronic like band. They were never popular. They were never mainstream. But I saw them again in a music festival a couple years later, like 2018. So, but they were like way past their peak. This girl was gone, and it was like a new singer and stuff, and a new woman. Uh, but so random. Like, why? Like, my jaw dropped when I saw these numbers, because I was like, what the fuck? Why am I? So why am I telling you this? That is why I keep showing up every day, because you never know when you get your break. Someone will retweet my product, or someone will say like, "Hey, Agent's Code is really cool." Who knows? One video may go viral. That's the power of the internet, and the leverage you get with social media and these platforms, YouTube, TikTok, like who the fuck knows how this happened? I don't know, and I don't care enough to go dig and find out more. But someone on TikTok, something happened, and this got shared. And this old band from like 2008, almost 20 years ago now, they blew up and now they're popular. They're long broken up. They don't. I don't even think they tour anymore. I think I saw one of their last tours a couple of years ago. I hope I don't have to wait like 15, 20 years like they did to get extremely popular. But anyways, that's all I got for today. See you tomorrow.